right. Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Facebook, one moment. I'm waiting. There we go. Instagram, you're live as well. Hello. Happy Sunday. Welcome to the end of the Father's Day sale. And we are doing wine and photography today. So, as you should on Sunday. So, as I've been talking about the past couple of days, we are at the end of the sale. Today, midnight is it, and we've got 25% off. This is the end of any 25% off discounts I'm going to give. Everything from this point out will be, when I do have a sale, 20% or slightly less. So biggest discounts. And again, because I just recently launched the site, wanted to incentivize you guys to be able to get some bigger discounts. So I'm going to talk a little bit about a couple of pieces that I also already showed you guys, and maybe a little bit more like backstory on a couple of them. So yesterday we were talking about like series photography as far as opposed to like multi-panel, right? And that's with respect to like putting it in your house, hanging it and stuff like that. So this being the multi-panel, this is the Evelyn Lake photo that I talked about the other day. So this guy is normally about $5,400. And right now, 25%, you could do just like this for $4,000 for this large piece. So pretty substantial there for something like that. This, I think, is like super serene, very calming. Obviously, this is my living room. This is my couch. Stating the obvious. But, you know, the cool color against kind of a more neutral wall, I think really just makes it nice and soothing. And it's one of my favorite places. And I like, you know, having something like that in my home that reminds me of these places. So that would be multi-panel. And I talked about, you know, another one that I'm doing, as a multi-panel, this new guy from my Utah trip was, right? So this guy can be like huge, actually, and it would be split up into 3 pieces, right? So you've got like 1, 2 through here and 3 there. I just put an example of this guy up on Instagram today. So if you are interested to see like what that could look like in your house, there's a like kind of Compton version of this guy split in multi-panel. Something like this would be about $6,000 normal. So what you're looking like, you know, 4,500 just south of $5,000 with the discount. I've got one of these coming myself personally that's going to be about 6 feet wide with a wood frame. It'll be pretty sharp once it gets here. I'll show you guys. I'm super excited about that. I think that's going to go in my bedroom, or I'm going to sell it to some lucky person here. So this is also, you know, from that same trip. This is the trip that we took this last week. Griffin, Chase, and I. This is in Escalante, Utah, and you know, totally gorgeous, super rugged out there. You know, it's a very long dirt road with lots of rocks and all sorts of craziness just to get out there. Nothing says dad more than rugged Utah. There are cowboys, a small young boy dressed as a cowboy on a horse was out like training, I guess, with his parents. That's what it appeared to be. So these guys are the series photos that I talked about yesterday, right? This is like the slot canyons. And again, up on Instagram, and it's actually on my Facebook site as well, are some examples of what I think, like, you know, these would look like in the space, how I would suggest you like frame them and do something with these. It's kind of white matte, dark frame. That's how I would do it. Although I've got these 2 coming just to like proof in metal. And that's one of the things I wanted to point out. Like I print like everything here, right at my house. I've got a very nice Canon printer, and I print it when I'm done like editing, just to make sure that what you're going to get is absolutely like, my intention, creatively. It's not gonna show up at your house and it's dark and crazy, or the colors are completely ridiculous because I've never printed it before. So everything gets proofed, and I check, all the quality on everything. This guy, the Star Trails that I showed the other night out at Vasquez. And if you are super interested, there's a video of Chase and I wandering around in the dark on one of the nights that we were taking these. It looks very similar to Blair Witch Project. I think it's a first for Instagram. Completely dark. You can't see shit. It's probably the worst Instagram live out there, but it's pretty incredible. So this again is a 2.5 hour exposure. I think I was telling you guys the other day, like this was meant to be a 4.5 hour exposure, in which case these would be a lot longer. It would, you'd probably have no end or start to them. I'm going to go and take another one of these, not exactly the same, but slightly different. Sorry, Instagrammers. In the coming weeks, our next trip is actually to the Sierras in 3 weeks. Going out there for the next new moon. My hope is to do some astrophotography and do some shots over some alpine lakes there. There's a couple, there's tons of beautiful alpine lakes. And where we're going is in the Ansel Adams Wilderness. So I'm super stoked. We've got 2 different lakes that we'll be camping at. And obviously bringing lots of camera gear, but we're backpacking in. So, at the end of the day, you regret what you brought, but it's worth it after you get some good shots. So this, I talked a little bit about the other day. This is called First Light. So this is one from Miami Beach, and this is probably like number one seller on my site. Lots of people really love this guy. I think it's super pretty, and I showed. I don't know. It was Friday. It was Friday. I showed one of these canvases, right? This guy. This is from New Zealand, and you could do something like this. This is a 12 by 18, right? And as I said before, everything comes framed in glass. You can do with a mat, without a mat. But this guy would also be, I think, super sweet like this. A thing to note, though, the color and everything here is going to be a bit more muted if you were to do something like this on a canvas. On metal or acrylic, the color and the saturation really comes through. The canvas is a bit softer, a bit more muted, but I still think, like, especially for something like this is Windswept Bethel's. The atmosphere and the haze and everything, I think, like, really lends itself to canvas here. I don't think, I wouldn't print this personally on like metal or acrylic. So you can see there's actually tiny, tiny little person. You guys on Instagram probably can't see, but these cliffs are just, they're big, they're gigantic. And it's very similar to like Oregon, but there's nobody there. Like literally nobody there. There was me and there was that individual, don't know. And that's probably like 3/4 of a mile away, or maybe not that much there, but it's a distance. You hike a good distance. This, I think I was saying the other day, this is one of my personal favorites. I just love that beach, loved my time in New Zealand. And this hangs in our like stairwell in our house. I'll probably show, I will show that a little bit later. Not in this stream though, but I think this is super sweet. And any of these, you've got like this guy, oops, it's gonna fall over. We're gonna have technical difficulties. Everything's gonna fall over, and then it's gonna be a true live video. Put that down. So, you know, something like this, you could do that scale. It really like, you know, sets a room apart. And then also another from my trip to New Zealand. This is at Cathedral Cove. Again, one of my favorite spots and one of my favorite shots. It was just a gorgeous, gorgeous sunrise. When I got there, it was pretty cloudy, but for a moment, the clouds cleared away and you could see the Milky Way coming up back here and then over the rest of the rock formation, which was pretty sweet. I do have a shot of that. I have not finished editing it yet and not published it. I have thousands and thousands of photos from New Zealand. I have not gotten to all of them. Somebody posted on Instagram something from one of the beaches that I really liked that I was at while I was there the other day. And I was like, shit, I need to get back to those. So there's a bunch. But yeah, it's a cool shot. And the Milky Way, I've pulled out a little bit wider. And one of these days I will finish it. So this guy, if you were, again, 25% off, ends today, midnight. This would be about $850, right, for a canvas. And that you could do a framed canvas. So you basically end up with this. It's got a little bit of a border, and there's 4 different finishes for wood. One would be black. There's white. There's kind of a light wood and a darker wood. Right now, it costs you like $620, something like that, with that 25% off discount. In the future, 20% still, that'll be something, but not as significant as what we're doing now. So, yeah, that's, that guy's big. I really like the super large photography. So, wine. Leave a comment if you want. We could do a wine and photo show. Maybe that's interesting to some people. Little known fact, a long time ago, well, some of you know, but long time ago, I was a server and be at a couple of very, very nice restaurants. So I had to learn a lot about wine. So as an aside, I've been fairly educated in the subject and enjoy the subject. So if you want, leave a comment. Maybe we'll do a wine and photo show, talk about some good stuff, what you should be drinking, and then what you should have on your wall as well. Right. So I hope you guys are all having a good Sunday, and I will talk to you later. All right. Have a good one. Bye. And